What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin and this is Erin on Demand, and today I am so excited for this video because we are talking about the highs and the lows of being a content creator, and I want to break down these things in a few different categories, so let's hop right into it. Now, number one, I feel like everyone wants to know this, is the money. And that is one of the biggest highs of being a content creator, is that once you gain some momentum and you create a community and you really work hard, like, the earning potential is there, okay? I just Googled, wait, let me just make sure my findings are correct. Influencer marketing in 2022 valued at a record of $16.4 billion. So it is a huge industry. And if you just make a little tiny fraction of that, you are doing really well, okay? So it is a very lucrative industry, and I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars I've generated since I've been a content creator. And it has been just so cool to see how creating content and cultivating a community has allowed me to make a living. That is one huge high. Now, if you don't know, there are multiple ways that you can make money as a content creator. So you can have your own products or services, which I highly recommend. You can also make money from brand deals, which is essentially different companies paying you to share about their products or services in your content that they think would be a good fit for you and your audience. You can also make money with affiliate marketing, so you can post commission-based links to for your audience to shop. So if you guys have watched my videos and I'm like, hey, you can check out my gear in the description box, like I have all the gear I use linked down below. Those are affiliate links. So I get a percentage of money back when you guys shop those links. You can also get paid based on the platform that you are creating on. So YouTube has Google AdSense as their monetization. Instagram has the Reels play or those bonuses. TikTok has its own funds. Like, pretty much every platform has a way that you can make money on it now because it keeps people creating on them. So there are many different ways that you can make money as a content creator. So I just want to get that out the way. And when you do it well and you do it strategically, you can make a lot of money from all of those different things. So the cons of that is that it is unpredictable. But I feel like whenever entrepreneurship in general is unpredictable, but being a content creator, like, especially if brand deals is your biggest stream of income and it's pretty much what you're riding on as a content creator, it is very unpredictable. And that's why I always recommend content creators have their own products or services or hustles that they're doing on the side. So that way you're not riding on one main stream of income, because that's the whole point. You want financial freedom. And if a brand isn't doing well, then that trickles down into their influencer marketing budgets. And that's just, that's going to directly impact your livelihood. So the pay can be very unpredictable. For example, there are very high seasons and then there are low seasons. At least that's what I've experienced over the past few years. So like Q4, as you can probably assume, is when Q3 and Q4, I would say that those are like my most popular brand deal times, because toward the end of the year, you're getting into the holiday season. So lots of brands are spending a lot of money to market their products and services. But aside from that, Q1 and Q2 is like, the top of the year. You're kind of budgeting, the businesses are budgeting their ad spend, kind of trying to like really pace it out. And then by the second half of the year, they're like, okay, we've got to spend this money. So, we need to get moving. So I've noticed that the top half of the year is generally a little bit more slow than the bottom half of the year. Also, you could look at that as at the end of the year, if they're spending all this money, whenever there's a really high, a lot of times there's going to be a really low after that. So I noticed that my Q1s are really slow because ad spend and influencer marketing budgets are just not there in Q1 after they have, been extremely high in Q4. So just some insight. You can't expect for every single month. It's hard to be like, I want to make X amount every month off brand deals. You can absolutely do that, and you can make more money. You can pitch yourself. However, every brand has a different budget. You can try your best to be like, my minimum is $10,000. I'm not taking anything else. But child, brands have different budgets, and there's no set pricing. And I think that's another low for influencer marketing, is that pricing is just very hairy. I actually accidentally got copied on a PR firm's email list. I don't know how, because I never worked with this company. Like, somehow my email got tangled up in a thread where they were discussing all of these different influencers and the campaign, and then their budget and what every influencers budget came in at. There were people with millions of followers who were charging less than some people with 75,000 followers, who were charging more than people with 250,000 followers. Like, it was just all over the place. And I was just like, I can't even believe that I'm like copied on this email. But it also just showed me that pricing is so subjective, and if you can really justify why your prices are what they are, and if you can deliver the content really well, then that is all tied into it. So the pricing and the pay is just very unpredictable. So that is a big low, in my opinion. Okay, so let's talk about time. A pro or a high is that you can create your own schedule. Like, I can work whenever, wherever, however. Like, everything in your life could be considered content depending on the type of creator that you are. That also comes with the low of people not having boundaries and experiencing burnout really quickly, because you are just creating, and your whole life is basically your content, and it becomes very difficult to have anything for yourself or to set boundaries and turn off your work, because this is work. So you don't want to feel like you're just constantly working, and finding time to put the camera down when you're doing something really cool can be just very difficult, because you want to share that, and that makes your numbers go higher, and it just can be this cycle of feeling like you just are never off. So that is definitely a low. I feel like for me, I have a pretty good balance of my content and my life. And especially because most of my content pertains to business and content and just marketing and those types of things. Although I show a lot of my personal life, especially on Instagram, I think that has helped set some parameters around how much I create and where I feel comfortable, like what in my life I feel comfortable sharing. So with that, it can be very time consuming if you feel like you have to always be in content creation mode. Another high is that when your content performs well, I think that's one of the best feelings ever. And it's not just the numbers, but it's also just the impact that a piece of content has on somebody. Like, I remember I created one piece of content, one YouTube video, like when I was first starting, about struggles of being a young Black woman entrepreneur. And even though that video didn't get that many views, the amount of DMs and comments and just people feeling so connected to me in me sharing that experience, like some of the experiences that I shared in that video, I was just like, oh my gosh, like if I had kept this to myself, nobody would have known any of this, and like it wouldn't have brought these amazing women together or helped build their confidence or helped them navigate a situation that may have been similar to mine. And I just love when a piece of content does really well. Now, I won't lie and say that as a creator, I don't look at the numbers. I feel like that is so cap. Like, it's just the natural part of it. You pay attention to the numbers. The numbers do drive a lot of things, including your pay. Like, when you have good metrics, that helps you make more money. And so you try to do more of the stuff that makes more people want to watch, because you can make more money from that. And that's just the way that the business goes. That's how ratings go on television. That's why we see all this mess of TV that's just full of drama, because drama drives metrics and metrics drives money. Okay, people want to advertise their business in a show that gets a lot of views. They don't want to advertise their business in a show that's just this, show that hardly gets any views. So the same thing applies for YouTube and being a content creator on whatever platform you're on. And so the metrics matter. I hate to break it to you, but they do. And so when a video that you put a lot of energy and effort into just doesn't perform well, it can be very tough on you as a content creator, because it is work, and it does take time, and it takes a lot of brain power and energy and creativity. And so when something doesn't perform well, you're just like, what went wrong? And a lot of times it's not anything that went wrong. It's just maybe you need to, shift how you packaged it, or shift the thumbnail, or shift, your hook at the beginning, or whatever it is. And so sometimes it takes time to figure out the nuances of what makes your content perform well, so that you can dive deeper into that. So the high is that when you have a piece of content that's performing well, it's extremely gratifying, because it feels like the work that you put in is paying off. And then when you have a piece of content that doesn't perform well, it can be extremely, it just doesn't always feel good. And so that's why I just really want people to know that when you're getting into content creation, to have a strong foundation and just to be very mentally stable, because it can take you on a roller coaster. And that's just, you want your mental health to be intact, so that you don't feel like a piece of content not performing well is a direct reflection of you not being enough, because that's not what it is. It's just a piece of content that didn't perform well. I think that's a big thing. And also with this whole highs and lows of performance, you can also notice that your content as a whole, especially on different platforms, performs well in one season and then dips off in another season. And you'll start to feel like in its entirety, your entire channel or your entire content is on this wave. And I feel like that. I've noticed that when I first started YouTube, my channel was just constantly booming. Every video was performing extremely well. But that was also during a time where a lot of people didn't have access to a lot of the information that I was sharing. It was still kind of new. But now, with content creation being such a popular thing, so many people are teaching it. There are just so many different, ways to learn about how to strategize and create. It becomes more difficult to get people's attention. And it also is always new people coming into the scene and creating great content as well. So those are things to just keep in mind, that your channel or your content may at one point experience a very high, but to not make that your expectation for your channel to constantly be doing that for its entirety. It may go through some shifts and some changes, and that is also an opportunity as a creator to take a look and be like, okay, how can I, grow? How can I move forward with the times? How can I implement some new things into my content to make it more engaging, or to make it more, ahead of the curve? It will stretch you for sure. Another high is that it can connect you with some incredible people. It can help you create the most insane community, and also put you in rooms that you may have never expected to be in. I just think about the power of the internet, and I'm just like, had I not done this, a lot of the things that I currently have and do, I don't know if I would have ever had access to them. And so I've gotten to work with some really amazing companies, some really amazing people, some of the best in the industry, and it's because I took a chance on myself. I love that. I think that's my favorite part. And you hear so many people just talking so much about how bad social media is, and how bad it is for our mental health, and how bad all of this stuff. And I'm like, well, all you have to do is get off. If you really feel like it's doing that much damage to your life, then you don't have to be on it. But for me, I think as a tool to push me forward, it has done pretty much 99.999% good for me. And I just try to be very careful with how I talk about it, because if I need a break from something, it's not me victimizing myself for a decision that I made, if that makes sense. So like, I'm not gonna get on Instagram and scroll endlessly and then be mad that, you know, for whatever reason. Like, I'm just gonna stop being on Instagram. I'm gonna delete the app for a while. If I feel like I need a break, I'm just gonna stop getting on it. And that's that. But overall, for me, it has brought so much into my life that I'm just so thankful. Now, I think on the flip side of that, I think the low is that you feel like you kind of have to keep up with what's going on when you're a content creator. Like, you do, honestly. You don't feel like it. You do have to keep up with the industry. You need to know, like, okay, YouTube Shorts is now taking over. Let me freaking figure out what to put on Shorts. You know, everything is just constantly changing. And when you become very settled into one platform and creating one type of content and you really find your groove in something, that is exactly when the next thing pops up. And it's like, hey girl, pay attention to this over here because this is the next new wave. And again, when it's your business, you don't have a choice but to move where business is moving. Okay, it's just kind of like Netflix. You know, we know the infamous Blockbuster versus Netflix story where it's just like, Blockbuster, we don't even Blockbuster done blew up. Like, well, not blew up, like blew up figuratively, like literally blew up, like it's not existing anymore. But like, Blockbuster is no longer a thing, and Netflix moved in the direction that the world was going in, which was digital, which was more content, like subscription based, like from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to leave. Like, and when you don't move with the times, you just get lost in the shuffle. So as a content creator, yes, as much as I would have loved Instagram to stay a picture based platform, as much as I would have loved YouTube to just be long form video content, no shorts, no nothing, as much as I would have love TikTok to not introduce carousels and all of these different things, have 10-minute long videos now. Like, it's just the nature of the industry, and it is always changing and it's always going to change. And so you either ride the wave or you get lost in it. And that's just my motto. So content creation, it has so many highs. It also has some lows. And I just wanted to take the time to share these things with you because, you know, I don't know. I feel like these are things that I enjoy talking about, and I want you to know them as much as you can from my experience because, you know, sometimes we get into things and we just don't really know exactly how they operate, but it's some work, okay? And this isn't to discourage you or to necessarily encourage you. It's just more so to inform you on some of the things that I have experienced as a content creator. So if you are interested, I do have my eBrand Creator College for content creators who are interested in just creating bomb, impactful content, and you are ready to take it seriously and apply some tools and some strategies so that you can see your world of content creation open up. You can begin making money off of it. You feel confident as a content creator. This program, it is rigorous, but it is amazing. So I hope to see you inside. I will leave all of that information in the description. Let me know if you'd like a part 2. If this gets to like 2,000 thumbs ups, maybe I'll do a part 2 because I didn't even get to every single thing that I was thinking. But I was thinking I could either do highs and lows of Instagram, highs and lows of YouTube, highs and lows of TikTok. So I could make this like a little series if you're interested. So if we get to 2,000 thumbs up, I'll go more in depth for each platform, the highs and the lows. Okay. Okay. Love you. Bye for now.